Welcome to Luca Sprues. In this video, I will be reviewing and painting some of Orion's 1/72 scale Soviet tankmen and crew. There are 3 sprues with 13 poses each, and they include figures performing maintenance, carrying jerry cans, relaxing, holding firearms, and one figure is even holding flowers, perhaps part of a victory parade. The details are nice and the uniforms seem accurate. Most of the men are in overalls, but several are wearing their jackets. All crew members are wearing the famous Soviet tanker's helmet. Overall, the figures are moulded very well, with accuracy only being let down by a tiny bit of flash and some mould seams, which I found obscured some details and faces, and was really difficult to sand or cut off due to the rubbery material. To begin with, I cleaned all the sprues in warm soapy water to remove any residue before I started painting. The first step once painting was the tanker's uniform with 2 coats of Tamiya XF17C blue. I use a tiny bit of water to thin the paint and get an even coat that spreads a little by itself into the creases and shapes of the figure. After this, I used a fine brush to apply carefully mixed XF15 flat flesh onto the areas of skin. Next came XF1 black, which was used for the boots and helmet of the figure. I follow the contours and engravings of the clothing carefully and try to avoid painting the figure's face or clothes black by accident. If any accidents occur, it's easy to clean them up with another layer. For the fine details, I use a very small brush and paint the tanker's belt with red-brown, his bag and epaulets khaki drab, and I used flat aluminium for the metal buckles and belts on his uniform. I find the key to painting the small details is to use the finest brush possible, to rest your hand on something while you're painting to avoid the shakes, and also to follow the lines and details on the mould. To make the details really pop and dirty the figure, I used heavily watered down XF1 black as a pin wash all over the figure and left it to dry. Once it was dry, I then dry brushed the figure's skin with buff. This highlights his facial features and lightens the pin wash. And with that, one figure was completed. I painted the other figures too, off screen, but the same process applies. Once painted, the figures can really add a lot of life, especially to a diorama. I took a few photos of the painted tankers with a Zvezda T34, and I'm very happy with the results. I also plan to use these figures a lot for future stop motions, to add characters into scenes. Thank you very much for watching and supporting Luca Sprues. It's wonderful to hear feedback on videos. We'll be aiming for more weekly and occasionally bi-weekly uploads, including a few stop motions, and launching a Patreon page in the future, so stay tuned for that. Until the next one, model on.